Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of Puffin Drinks. We've made it through the work week once again. Yay!
Yes.
I'm Dennis Cotton,
Jimmy Jefferson.
Rodney Q Love.
and here we are. Once again, we're going to try to enlighten you, entertain you, make you laugh at us, make you mad at us, but hopefully we're going to make you think about it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to turn it over immediately to my man Jimmy here, Mr. Jefferson, and
All
he's
right.
going to lead us off on a topic that
Yeah.
is going to be
All right, guys.
a little
All right.
interesting.
It's 2024. Last time I checked, all right?
Oh yeah.
And there's this big stigma, and it's actually turned into a stigma now, about getting married. And here we are, it's 2024, and the question came up earlier in the week, is it really necessary to get married in 2024? You know, do we really need marriage in 2024?
Right.
I think that what we're getting into and what's happening with everything going on in the world right now, people are starting to understand that, okay, I don't need to be married to get the full benefits. Now, 50 years ago,
You did.
That was unheard of.
I mean, it didn't matter whether it was a same-sex couple, whether it's, you know, the male and female. It didn't matter. It's you got the benefits when you got married. When you got married, you got half of this, you got half of that, blah, 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 and the list was endless. Now you got a whole different world where you don't even have to get married, but you get every full benefit of being married. So I'm throwing it out to, you know, of course, my co-host and everything else, and then also to our audience. Do you really think marriage matters now? Do you really think?
No. First, I want to, before we really get rolling, I want to give a shout out to your brother Carl Weathers, who passed recently, as well as Joe Madison,
Yep.
Black Eagle.
Joe Madison is a Sigma brother too. He's an honorary Sigma brother.
Whoa, Joe Madison.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's an honorary Sigma brother. Yes, for all our Sigma brothers out there and everything else, you know,
I went to school with him.
and to the great Omega,
I pledged him.
Joe Madison.
No, Joe Madison's older. He's like 77.
No, he came through honorary.
Okay, well, we might be talking about
It's two different ones.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
Damn.
No. He's older than you.
Man, I was about to
Considerably
like,
older.
Yes,
I was about
exactly.
to like,
No.
whoa,
But no, but you're right, brother. Cheers.
Yeah,
cheers, man.
cheers.
Cheers, man.
All right.
Yep.
So now, what was the question again? Is it necessary to get married?
Is it necessary?
Well, you know what? In order to answer that question, maybe we should backtrack and ask, why do we get married in the first place? Is it because of love? Is it because of sex? Is it because of religion?
Tradition.
Tradition. Thank you. You know, words in the Bible, I can't think of the specific scripture, but it talks about, you know, the man, a man and a woman should, no, hold on, let me think
Man
about
leaves
this.
his family.
Yes, and become united, and the two should become one flesh. So, I don't know. I mean, in order to ask the question, is it necessary? We should ask the question, why did we get married in the first place?
Okay, well, that is a valid question, but the thing is, here we are, it's 2024. Is marriage even necessary? Because I think that it's important at some point in time. It was important. We'll go, you know, 50, 60, 70 years ago and everything else. Marriage was the thing. You know, they've seen a significant drop off in people getting married each year, and it doesn't matter what the race is.
Yeah.
Whether it's black, white, Chinese, it doesn't matter. Nobody really needs to get married, and they're finding that it's more in America than anything else.
More in America.
So
Yeah.
surprise,
We lead
surprise.
the way in all kinds of
We
stuff.
exactly. We always lead the way, you know. And I think from my perspective and everything else, I think marriage is still necessary. I believe in marriage, but I also think that it's been legislated the hell out of where you don't need marriage because all the components that you got when you got married 50, 60, 70 years ago is already been taken, and just added into, mate and mate. If this is my significant other, and we've seen it, everybody's seen, where the female introduces, this is my significant other, or the male introduces, this is my road dog, that kind of thing, or this is my woman, that kind of stuff. And then, and lately I've even seen, females go, okay, this is just my man. And they've been together for 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess my thing is, and then, we'll open up the phone because we definitely want to know what y'all think about, does marriage matter? I mean, it's 2024. It's a legitimate question.
I'll say this. I think when two people get married, well, if you want children, yeah, I think you would definitely. Well, I'm not saying.
No, keep talking. I apologize. Go on.
I think if you could somehow, sit at your desk and say, "This is what I want for my marriage," and the woman should say, if the woman would say, "Well, this is what I want to be married," and if they both want children, then I think it would be definitely beneficial for marriage. As a teacher, I can tell you that a child is more teachable if there are two parents in that house. Now, is it mandatory? Is it mandatory? No. Is it beneficial? Yeah. It's definitely beneficial to that child if there's a man and a woman, preferably husband and wife, in that house. Now, I get it. We're in a liberal country.
Right.
And, let's live in love and all that. But the bottom line is, and I think there's probably some statistics to back me up, a child is more likely to be successful in their education, more likely to be successful going forward in life if there is a man and a woman, preferably husband and wife, involved.
So you're saying that a man and a woman can raise a child, but two men and two women cannot.
Whoa. Okay.
We might want to say partners in union.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm curious to know because he was stressing man and a woman,
right?
And
Well, from a heterosexual standpoint,
I get it. That's one of the things, and then let's be realistic. Heterosexuals don't walk out of the door every day and go, and by the way, I'm heterosexual. It is who we are.
Yeah, it is who we are.
It is who we are. And then the same with some gays and some gay and lesbian and couples. They don't do that either. They don't have to do it. They shouldn't have to do it.
Right.
But we're in a different world now, so they have to make the announcement and the pronouncement of all these different things. My question remains, is it that only a man and a woman? And then we're going to get back to it because I'm still concerned about the marriage aspect of this.
Okay.
You were very adamant about a man and a woman raising a child.
Yeah, I am, and let me tell you why. As an educator, I sometimes say educator, but I'm going to.
It all depends on where you went.
I'm going.
Where you teaching at too. That's what I'm saying. It all depends on where the hell you're teaching at. Shit.
As a teacher, I have seen on several occasions students that are misbehaving, acting up, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm gonna make it real short and sweet. Come to find out, that child had there was two women in the household. Okay, there was a man, but the man was gone, don't know where. But I've seen on several occasions where a child, and is always a boy, he is somehow caught up in a lesbian relationship. And I'm not frowning against anybody. I mean, you love who you want to love, but the bottom line, as a teacher who's seen it, it doesn't work, or it doesn't work well. So preferably, man, woman, child. I've seen
I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion on that. And what about marriage? if they were married, would that make the difference?
Good point.
Okay, so you're saying if you got 2 men that are married
And 2 women that are married.
or 2 women,
It's legal here in Michigan. The hell, it's legal in the country.
when it comes to the child, when it comes to his thinking processes, no. Because somewhere along the line, that child is going to see a television show where there's a man and a woman and a child. And he's going to look back, well, wait a minute. What's wrong with this picture? Why is it that there are 2 women here instead of that man? Or why is it 2 men here instead of that woman? So, I mean...
Well, but you know, at the same token, too, it's more common now.
Exactly.
It is.
Right.
It's more common.
So
exactly.
the child might not be as perplexed. I mean, I see it all the time. You know, here are my 2 mamas.
Yep.
You know, or
We saw it when my daughters were in high school, where these are my 2 dads.
Well,
You know, and that was public school. That was, they went to school in Macomb County, and that's, you know, a conservative area, and that exists. It doesn't. It just exists.
well, let me put it this way.
See, I want to get to the root of this, and I want to stay on the marriage issue.
Okay.
So I mean, and I'm concerned whether or not if you're coexisting, you know, and you're not married, does that affect the marriage, the whole relationship dynamic?
Okay, let's take the child out of the situation.
Okay, all right.
Let's take the child away.
All right, and now we're just any couple.
so now we're pretty,
I don't think. Well, I mean, what marriage is it is a jail it is a religious
Right.
tradition. I cannot say that word. Say the word for me.
which
What jail tradition?
Yeah.
Judeo.
Judeo. Yeah, there we go. Okay. He said jail. It is a Judeo-Christian. Yes.
Christian tradition. Now, is it in the Quran? I really don't know.
It is.
Okay. Is it in the Torah, the Jewish Bible?
It is actually in the Torah.
Is it in the Catholic Bible?
most definitely in the Catholic.
Okay. So, but it is a tradition. It's not law. It is a tradition that a man and a woman should be married. And I'm not frowning on the Judeo or the religious traditions, but is it necessary to be married in 2024? No, I don't think so.
Well, now let me throw another loop at you. Okay. Let's just say you're not married, but you're sharing assets.
Okay.
All right. So, you know,
The common law.
common law. Right?
Okay.
Don't you think that, especially if both people contribute to it, that they're entitled to, you know?
Well, if you came into it together and they're
Right.
understanding, absolutely. I agree.
Right. But now let's just say, hypothetically, you know, you guys dated, lived together for a short amount of time, then you just called it quits. Now
we got a problem.
Now we got a problem.
Get
Now
the
we
hell
got
out,
a
babe.
See. Okay.
Peace out.
All right. Let's take a break for a second and everything else. I want to do our station ID and everything else, because we're going to get into it, because I want some callers to call in on this too. You're watching Puff and Drinks live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like us, follow us, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And you can reach us at 313-355-6018. Once again, that's 313-355-6018. And our topic tonight, does marriage matter in 2024?
Yeah.
Well, you know, and Rodney, just to piggyback on what you're saying and everything else, or even jump into where you're saying and everything else, that's where I think where 50 years ago, when you were married, all of that was inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was already inclusive. You didn't. It didn't. If you stayed together a day, 6 months, damn near 6 years, it was all inclusive. When you exist together without a formal documentation,
A contract.
exactly. Let's call it the truth. That's exactly what it is. You got to have a contract.
Right.
You know, and you don't have a contract. Okay, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
So now, you know, again, there was a scenario where in which same thing happened. Gentleman lived with a young lady for a stint of time. He got sick. She took care of him. Then he passed. his daughters came in at the last minute and said, "Oh, you know what? I love my daddy, but everything goes to us."
Yep.
His live-in girl got zilch.
That happens more often than not.
Yep.
Yep. You know, when he bought in, you know, they didn't live together 10 plus. Yep.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And the children, if they are the actual sole heirs or the ones that are related to him by blood,
They get first dibs.
they get the first dibs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And never came around
Well, see,
until daddy got sick.
see now, it don't matter. At that point, it really don't matter because they didn't take into the contractual thing.
Right.
You know, and I lived in the state of Georgia years ago, and when I lived in the state of Georgia, Georgia had on the books for years where if you lived with someone for over a year, you were considered common law. Mm-hmm. Common law means that you were pretty much married. Everything that happened in that home or apartment or whatever the hell you were living at, it was considered joint property. Mm-hmm. You know, because now you're bound under the common law. Now, Michigan does have a common law life, a law, not life, but they actually have a common law, mm-hmm. but it's never enforced because one, we're a liberal state, much more liberal than Georgia, of course. But they also make you take and go and get a lot of stuff in writing.
Yeah.
You got to get it in writing. And
notarized. Hey.
I'm concerned because I've seen a couple of instances where the marriage has evolved into multiple partners. And the multiple partners, and this is happening on the male and the female side, I've seen where a female has taken multiple husbands. It does exist here in the country.
Okay.
Get out of here.
And
I need a drink on that.
You might want to take a lot of them, but there are instances where and of course, no state is really allowing it to be bound, but they bound themselves together through their own agreements. But it does exist. The Mormons for years have always taken multiple wives. That's just who they are. But there are now things where a lot of females are now saying, okay, wait a minute. If the man can do it, why can't I do it? So
all righty.
My question and the entire audience and everything else, I still ask the question, you know, does marriage exist in 2024?
Or the traditional marriage.
The traditional forms of marriage.
Traditional.
You know, what do you consider marriage now? I mean, it used to be a big thing to see all the pomp and circumstances. You know, everybody would go into the wedding this weekend and yada, yada, yada. And, you know, you're getting ready to see Shandika and Terry get married and everything else. And, you know, they ain't got a pot to piss in and the window to throw it out, but they love each other.
Oh, yeah.
Lord knows they do. So long as they love each other, they gonna go ahead and do the damn thing, you know? Then you got Brad and Becky. Brad and Becky, they getting married, you know, the mom and dad and put up goddamn house and home and everything else for them to get married. And then 6 months later, all of it dissolves.
Yeah.
So the question, you know, and like I said, you know, it's not even so much a question anymore and everything else. Now we're looking at, you know, the man and the woman, and that, or these couples, whether it's male and woman, or two women or two men, you know. So how do you bind each other to each other? You know.
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you too. At the end of the day, nobody want to live alone into their old age and be alone.
Well, you said it before where, you know, you want to find that person who can actually recognize the signs of stroke.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know,
Oh, my God.
Then, you know, I get that. I get that. Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God.
And that equates to male and male and female and female.
Right.
Somebody needs to recognize the signs of a stroke.
I mean, hey man, you sitting out at you know, the Olive Garden, all of a sudden that lip curl up. I need to know she knows what to do.
Oh, that's something ain't right. Something ain't right. And see, fam, this is what we're talking about, you know, and if you're not married but you are coexisting together and everything else, do you have that understanding? Do you even know that, you know, that person well enough to actually coexist with them?
Right.
You know, because marriage, we already know, and I've been married a long time, and Rodney's been married, and you've been married too, and everything else. Exactly. It takes a lot of work.
Yes.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work trying to adjust to one another. You still find out things about each other. You still find out that, okay, do I like this person? Does she like me today? Hell, it happens. But when you're not...
You can't stand there on Monday. By Wednesday, you're going out for
But see, that's a legal union. Now, when it's just a union or coexisting together where you're living together with one another and everything else, does it make it easier for you to walk away?
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. I think we should put this in a perspective.
All right.
Okay. Legally, if two people are living together for such and such time, there needs to be some sort of a contract. A marriage contract, preferably, but some sort of a legal stipulation that, if we break up, I won't have. Okay? Now, put that aside. Is it necessary to be married? I gotta say, if you love each other and if you know each other in and out, no. Do you want to make it? I don't know, official to present to the world? Sure, why not? Oprah has been married to. No, I'm sorry,
Stephen.
not married.
She's been with Stephen for years.
For years. They've never been married.
Not one day.
But from what I understand, the entire world knows that they are committed. They are a couple. If they break up, I'm sure Oprah's gonna give them a few dollars.
Right. You get a couple dollars.
Few dollars.
Get a couple dollars.
So, is it necessary to be legally married in 2024? No. Should you have some sort of legal arrangement that if the relationship breaks up, I leave with such and such, and you go your way with such and such? Yes, common sense. I mean,
Well,
logical.
but also too, you still got to keep in mind, you still need to have a blood relative or a spouse to make life and death decisions. Let's just say you need a power of attorney, medical power of attorney. She could flat out say, "Yo, as soon as he stopped breathing, I don't want his ass coming back."
Yep, that is true.
You know.
What is it when do not resuscitate?
Yeah, do not resuscitate.
The DNR.
Yeah.
You know, a DNR, that's legal as it gets.
Yeah, and your girlfriend can't do that.
No.
Even with a legal agreement.
Nope.
Okay,
She
you
cannot
know
do
what?
that.
One thing we do.
No, your brother can.
Okay.
Your
Yeah, your
brother,
brother
your
can.
sister, or maybe even your first cousin or something like that. But no.
Okay. One thing that we do that I think is we need to really think about later on over some drinks is we think too much.
No, that's
You
what.
know, we are flexing our mental muscle all the time.
We want to flex the mental muscle and everything else, okay? And I still wonder that if you don't have a legally binding contract, would that actually take and dissolve the relationship? Here's the thought. And this is something that this is something hypothetically to think about, and this is for our audience and then for everyone to think about. If you start a relationship and you decide that you both are going to live together after 3-6 months, whatever, okay. You go to your partner, your significant other, and you say, okay, you know what? We're getting ready to live together and everything else. We're going to take and buy grocery together. We're going to do this, yada, yada, yada together. I want to get this in writing. Do you think that will be well received?
Yeah, it should. Now, I'm going to tell you, now it would be. Because...
Are you so sure about that?
Well... They're no longer looking at it, and it's just my opinion. People are no longer looking at it as what, you don't trust me or blah blah blah. It's business.
But don't you think that your partner will get offended though?
It's business.
But see, okay, all right. But I love you.
It's business.
Hey man, it has nothing to do.
And again, no, but I love you. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? You know what I'm saying?
Well, are you gonna love me when there's heat get cut off?
But I love you though. Why I gotta sign all this?
Oh my God!
Baby, you want to live in the back of this car?
Good point.
We've seen time and time again where wintertime rolls around and we know how Ron Derrick and them show back up over at Shanique in them house.
Yeah.
And then they show back over to the house and everything else because it got cold. His ass ain't got a spot to roll to.
Mama kicked him out.
Exactly.
Mama and auntie kicked him out.
It's cold in the basement.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Well, let's call a spade a spade. It's cold in the basement. She done already closed up the vents down there. She done told his ass he can't come down there. So with that being said and everything else, Ron Derrick, he done moved back in with Shandika, and Shandika, she's already got everything established. She owns her home, she owns a car, she buys groceries, she works every day. She's living with this guy, and she doesn't hold him accountable.
Well, now that's Shandika's fault. Yeah.
That's Shandika's fault.
Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go.
We have a caller.
We have a caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Hey, I just want to comment about something you said earlier at the beginning of the show. In regard to having children and with two parents in the home, I think what it comes down to, without being long-winded, because you can have children with one parent, two parents, and of course, the more reinforcement, the better. I think all this comes down to monogamy is really the question, because the kids can have the parents' last name, like they can have the dad's last name without the parents being married. They can get all the insurances and things like that without the parents being married. The kid can live in the house with his biological father and mother and not be a bastard child by blood, but only by legal definition. So I think, when you strip this all down to the question of is traditional marriage still valid, it's going to come down to the issue of monogamy and religious points of view. Because, a lot of people get uptight about the monogamous part of it. But you got couples that are monogamous with each other and still not legally married. So, the argument is, what purpose does marriage hold? I think the argument is, what purpose does marriage hold at this point, if not just legal parameters?
Yeah, good.
All right. Thank you, caller. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Guys, I'm concerned about it when he said about the monogamy. And that to me is an open door also, because marriage is supposed to be between two people. Okay, and I'm not even going to say man and a woman. I'm not going to say that. Right. I'm saying two people, two human beings.
All right.
Okay? We got two human, so let's call it two binary human beings, okay?
They're alive and breathing.
They're alive and breathing, okay? If these two human beings agree to the monogamy, or they're good about the monogamy, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yes, that's it. Now, the definition of marriage now doesn't exist with that kind of concept. We've seen couples already where, Will and Jada, there's a few other couples out there that are sharing their marriage.
Right.
They're sharing their marriage. T.I. and Tiny, they've shared their marriage. A couple of other couples are out there, high profile. And what I've seen them do, and they made it, and this is the crazy part, and we're going to take a break after this. They had contract signs for NDA. Yep, sure did. Yes, they did. They actually, so they stayed together they were bound together as a married couple. They have not divorced or anything like that, but to keep the husband from straying, or to keeping the wife from straying, or, entertaining their appetites, as it were, right. they decided that, okay, we'll go ahead and do this and have this person come into our bedroom and share the bedroom with us. Now, That's a whole nother hellacious, 2024 marriage. And that, to me, like I said, that brings up a whole hell of a lot of other questions, and we're going to get into it. You're watching Puff and Drinks live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like us, love us, follow us, share with us, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZC Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Once again, you're watching Puff and Drinks. Telephone number is 313-355-6018. And call us. We know that the relationship. I can't speak for our white people, our white counterparts, but I can speak for our black people. They are doing some things where monogamy don't exist.
Yeah.
No.
But they're married.
But they're married.
You know, me being a realtor, I did a deal some time ago where you had a husband and a wife. They both had their own houses, and they had kids from separate marriages. But they were like, we're not going to live together because our kids don't get along. So, and they were perfectly happy with one day. Hey, I'll come over on the weekend. You come over during the weekday, whatever.
Wow.
And they were perfectly fine with it.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't do all that working at
And see,
McDonald's.
that's the definition. And they're legally married.
Legally married.
And legally married and two living. And I've noticed that and some applications and everything else that when you go online to fill out, for a credit card or whatever you may have, they're asking, what is your address?
Yeah.
And then they'll ask you, what is your permanent address?
Yeah.
Because they're asking these things because your world is different from your marriage life together or your partner's life together.
Right.
Let's take a quick survey. Rodney, do you think marriage is necessary in 2024?
Being a married man, happily married man, yeah.
Same here. Absolutely. I agree with him. I do believe because I think it shows the ultimate commitment.
All right, moving on.
Now, I will say this. If this one doesn't work out, I'm going to be the old man in the club.
Well, I got to tell you,
Dave Hollister at the end of the bar.
Man, I'm having black socks on, everything.
There we go.
I
there you
mean,
go.
I've been told, I haven't been married before. I have my personal thoughts, and people have shared it with me that marriage is overrated. And I'm not going to expound on that. But I would say, especially from the scenario of two people living together, and all of a sudden one says, get the hell out, and that person has no recourse to get what's rightfully theirs. Yeah, I think definitely marriage would be beneficial from a legal perspective to make sure that that your personal assets are protected, to make sure that you're not tossed out, in the rain. So from that perspective, barring some legal other alternative contract, absolutely.
But see, I think that if you actually have to go the route of getting married and to actually get this person to do right, what is right?
What is right?
What is right?
What is right?
What is right? I mean, if I'm just going let's call it for what it's worth. I mean, to get this person to do right, you got to take in and wife them. That's what the kids say. They call, you got a wifer.
Right,
you got a wifer now. My God, what the hell is that? I mean, you got a wifer. Okay, whatever. So you got to wife her in order to get her to do right, so that you don't get fucked up in this whole scenario. Because let's be realistic. That's where it goes. Because you just said that. If you're living together, you're coexisting together and everything else, and then whoever decides that today is the day where your shit's sitting out on the bricks, that's a bad day in Flat Rock.
Yeah.
And what is your recourse? You don't have a recourse.
You don't have it.
You done came back, you just grab your black garbage bags, throw them in the back of your car, and call your shit in, Or, your last pair of Jordans, call it in,
If you have a car and not using her.
Well, exactly.
To drop off at work.
Well, you got to call somebody to pick your ass up.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
gotta call Tyrone.
Well, what's shit? They call him, and you can't use her phone. So, okay, all right. In all seriousness, I think that
Let's flip the script for a moment.
Okay.
Why do women want to get married? Or why would a woman want to get married?
We need a woman to call in and tell us why marriage is important. 313-355-6018. We want to know 313-355-6018. Why is marriage important to a woman?
The expression that just came to me, I really don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Why have the cow when you can get the milk for free? Why have the cow when you can get the milk for free?
But see, it works both ways with that now,
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Because she can come to the table with absolutely nothing and you got everything.
True that.
Well, what is
You
it?
know?
Wait.
Kevin Samuels, God rest his man's soul and everything else, but he summed it up where when the callers would call in and everything else and say, I'm looking for a high value man. I want a high value man and everything else. He asked the one question that should be asked by any man who's interested in that particular person. What are you bringing to the table?
Right.
What are you coming to the table with?
Besides the appetite.
Exactly. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. Sex is not a driving factor to get married. No. Okay, it's not. I mean, okay, she may have the WAP. Let's call it for whatever it is. Okay, she might have that. All right.
Do y'all know what that means?
They know exactly what the hell it means. Okay, she may have the WAP, and if she's got the WAP, then that brother his head is spinning around, yada yickety yada. But does that justify him saying, okay, you know what? I'm a wifer. I got to wife this one.
Well, now let's be clear. I totally agree with you, but there are some brothers out in the land, black brothers, white brothers, Jewish brothers, Chaldean brothers,
You name it.
Arab brothers. Look, once you taste the sweet nectar and a few drinks, let's do it.
But at the same token, though, that WAP, is it gonna be there when you're sick? Is it gonna be there when you're broke?
Yep.
It's gonna be there when you ain't got a friend in the world.
Yep.
Because we gonna go through all of those.
Absolutely.
Hell,
Hell, you might be going through them all at
one time.
All at one time, And let's call a spade a spade. You might not even be able to handle the WAP no more.
See?
That I mean, and
She's gonna stay with me, right?
oh yeah, right, yeah, right, sure. Cheers. Yeah, right. Good luck on that.
She
loves
no. Yeah.
Because on the average, let's say, okay, we're scratching 60-ish. Okay. So more than likely, if we were thrown back out into the wild, it would not be unlikely to get somebody that would be 12, 15 years younger.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's going rate. It's like, hey.
Yep, that is actually correct.
But now can you keep up with that energy?
There you go.
I gotta go.
That's a
sleep.
whole
I'm
nother show.
tired.
That's a whole other show.
We're going to talk about that shit, though. We are going to talk about that and everything else. And see, I think when it comes down to marriage and everything else that, men and women, we have different things that we look for when we do get married.
Right.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
We talked about this, when we were younger and everything else, and even as we got older, is that who would we take home to mama, and who would we not take home to mama? And the one that you would definitely take home to mama is the one that typically you will be the one that's the one that you're going to marry.
Right.
You're so involved with this person and everything else. Lord knows this is the one I want. Then you realize, okay, then you got the ones where, once again, you done got wrapped up with the WAP and you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground anymore. And then now you're like, okay, now I'm stuck with this situation because my appetite was greater than my mind.
Yeah.
So now I got a situation. That brings us right back to the whole question of the night and everything else. Is marriage really necessary at 2024 when things like the normal I love you, the courtship, and all this other good stuff really don't exist anymore?
Well, but at the same token, though, what exactly do you want? Do you want somebody to technically grow with? Do you want somebody to, hey, let's hook up on Friday and Saturday, and I'll see you the rest of the week later?
See, I don't know if that's actually even being explained anymore because, like I said, there's been a significant dive in marriage in the last 10 years, actually a little longer than that, and couples, especially the Gen Xers, they don't want to do that. And the millennials, oh God, no.
Right.
No, they're not interested in that anymore. And now since, there's the dynamics of gender not being a factor anymore and everything else.
Yeah.
They're not looking for that particular gender to satisfy their, okay, my need or that longevity or me or that commitment. That kind of thing.
Then you know what I have to say, based on everything we've discussed, the need for a traditional marriage, though I suppose some people would say it's nice, some people are traditionalists, some people would say it's wonderful, some people would say it's beautiful, but because we're such a liberalized freaking country, no, you don't need it. It would be great to have it, but is it mandatory? No. Is it necessary? From a legal perspective, if I'm a lawyer, which I'm not, if I'm a lawyer and I'm about to marry this woman, no, I'm sorry, no, let me try that again. If I'm a lawyer and I want her to move in with me, oh yes, I'm gonna get everything dotted, everything crossed. Okay, if we don't work out, I'll give her such and such money. I'm gonna make sure that my kids are on there, and that if something happens to me, that they are primary, and I'll make sure I'll throw her a piece of change because I loved her and she gave me good sex. But I mean, the concept of a traditional marriage is as my lady friend would say, is beautiful. It could be very beautiful. Is it necessary? No, I don't think so.
I gotta be honest.
I don't think so.
You ain't getting on my life insurance policy if your last name ain't mine.
There you go.
Point blank.
There you go. It's fairly simple. It's not even complicated.
Yeah.
It's not even complicated.
There's certain things that my girlfriend wouldn't, which I ain't got a girlfriend.
Okay, let's
but
make
there's
it clear.
certain things that a girlfriend ain't entitled to that a wife is.
That's right.
There you go.
You know, so I mean, hey.
But you know what the problem with this country is? We just got too liberal. I mean, it's like you go to a grocery store,
Right.
and you see you want a candy bar. You got 30 different varieties of candy.
Right.
You 30 different. There's just too much. I mean, and it's just like marriage. Marriage is now anything you want to make it. If you want to marry a fucking dog. I cussed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
If you want to marry a dog, somewhere along the way it could be arranged, and somewhere along the way it could be made legal. Am I right or wrong on this?
You are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
So,
I think a lot of it too is social media too.
Yes.
You know, and I say this with all earnestness and everything else, that I think a lot of the social media that exist out there, conversations that used to be taboo are no longer taboo.
Yeah.
You know, you can have these conversations now, and you can put it out there, and nobody know who the fuck it is. But of course, you know, you can have these, conversations, and the institution of marriage itself, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. Everything else is distorted.
Well, again, you did mention social media, but what came before social media? Soap operas.
Absolutely.
Everybody had that soap opera mindset.
Yep.
Hey, I'm gotta marry me an Erica Kane, or I gotta have this.
Or when they were married on the soap operas and everything else, then the husband or the wife or both were both tipping.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Everybody was tipping.
Everybody was tipping.
Or you watch it, 6 months, and then he or she is with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then he would go back to Erica Kane.
Yeah.
And that was the norm. That was Americana.
Oh yeah.
That was Americana.
And they kept people. You think about it, kept them captivated, just like social
absolutely.
media.
Absolutely. But now we're in this 2024 age, and the question of marriage has come up more often than not, and people are really, really questioning the legitimacy behind it.
Do you think it's like this in other countries?
I think so. I think it's getting that way.
Now, it's funny. It depends. European countries are going to tend to be more like
liberal,
us,
yeah.
but more, Afrocentric, Muslim.
No.
And that ain't.
No, they ain't having
Oh,
that.
what?
What?
No.
India, they still have. I'm assuming
India
correct me if I'm wrong, they
is
still
Hindi.
have, but don't they
Hindi.
still have prearranged marriages?
Absolutely.
Okay. You know what they used?
Arabic countries too.
You know what they used to call us? They used to call us the Great Satan. Years ago, they used to call us the Great Satan. And you know what? Maybe,
Babylon.
Yeah.
Babylon, my
Okay.
friend. Babylon.
I mean, we're just so liberal. We just got to have things our way. We just got to do things because, you know, the wind is blowing in my hair to the left, so that means I got to go marry my zebra. Instead of, you know, I mean,
Hey, but you think about it, you ain't taking your wife to the soccer field because she ain't cooked right and kill her in front of everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Taliban. Okay, you're watching You're watching Puff and Drinks live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. We have 5 minutes to go, and we want you guys to like us, follow us, share, continue the conversation with us afterwards and everything else. Comment and subscribe to us. We come on every Friday at 6 p.m., and we want to take and have you join in our conversations. We do have thoughtful conversations. And once again, thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV. And we're the coolest station in the world. And once again, our telephone number is 313-355-6018. Gentlemen, we got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Last comments.
The reason why we do this, guys, is because we want to put something in your head that maybe wasn't there 5 minutes ago.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. We want to help you, you know, make the right decision, whatever that decision may be. Whatever the decision is right for you. Okay. If you're indecisive, you know, hopefully we're going to give you that necessary nugget of information to make you decide what to do one way or the other.
And, you know, hey, it helps you spark that conversation, too, with your significant other.
Absolutely.
You know, these might be questions that you might have wanted to ask one another, but you're just like, damn, I don't know how to just say that.
Yeah.
You know, now you can, you know, instead of being reluctant, you can say, hey, look, this is how I'm laying.
Yep.
How you laying?
Yep. And then that opens the door to the conversation of what's legal and what's not legal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I think it's important whether, you know, whatever kind of couple you are, it doesn't matter. You know, you two human beings trying to coexist together, you need to get some things in writing.
Oh, yeah, you do.
You know, no matter how you think this may lay or anything like that, if you don't have it in writing, it didn't happen.
It would be best, definitely.
You know, get it in writing because
Definitely.
that's how things go horribly wrong when something happens in that household.
Right.
Or because you're waiting, you know, for someone to take care of you or hoping to take care of you or whatever the situation may be. And nothing can be disposed of or done because there's nothing legally binding you together. There's nothing.
Nope. I mean, hey, let's think about it, man. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, we got it.
Hello, caller.
Hello. Hello.
Okay.
oh, did she-
I think the caller dropped.
no.
Okay. Call us back.
Call us
Call us
back.
back.
Call us back. Call us back quickly.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
you got 3 minutes.
You got 3 minutes. Call us back.
Is marriage in decline?
Yes, absolutely is. It actually is because, like I said, in America, it's been legislated out because marriage hasn't been legislated out. The components within marriage has been legislated out.
Right.
You don't have to actually get married and have a formal ceremony to get all the benefits that a marriage used to give you when you say "I do." You once you are living together and you decided to live together and everything else, there are some things that legally already. Okay, there we go.
Hey, caller.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I just wanted to comment. I agree with what you were speaking of in regards to marriage, that it kind of makes the commitment a little bit more solidified. I think that people can walk away whenever they want. I mean, even though, you know, divorce is at a high rate and people get divorced, I just think that if you're married and it's a legal marriage, yeah, some people say, oh, it's just a piece of paper. But I think that it makes, it lends itself to make people work harder if they're mature. The other aspect of that is if there is, when one's life is at stake, you know, and those decisions being made, life and death decisions, and if you've been with someone for a long time, you have no legal standing, and so that's a perspective. And then it used to be where people just, you know, I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. I think people go into it for the most part like that, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but I think that at the end of the day, it's the love and the heart to say, you know what, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I just want it to be solidified. So that's all I had to say.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you.
You said a mouthful.
All right,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
And you know what? I think we're almost out of time here. Am I right here, gentlemen?
I think we have like maybe one more minute to go and everything else. And thank you, caller.
Thank you so much.
She's right. And I think everybody's kind of right on this whole thing on how they view marriage and how they actually view wanting to live with one another.
Yeah.
It's been said that no one wants to be alone.
Yeah,
that is true.
And I agree with that. And I don't care if you're male and female or male and male or female and female, you know, or you and your pet goldfish. You know, you don't want to live alone. Exactly. You know, nobody wants to live their last days on earth without having some type of companionship.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think it's really important that we look at that in 2024, that companionship is really, really important. And because that, if you love that person, it's even better. But if that person is your friend, you know, that person that you can trust and everything else, and once again, that person recognizes a sign of stroke.
Exactly.
You know, you want somebody to be there to know the difference.
All right, that's it, guys.
All right,
Man, thank you, and we'll say once again, thank you for joining us, Puffin' Drinks tonight, and have a good night.
That's
Thank you.
it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Peace.